Hey, hey, Denver. Hey, hey, world. I'm Lady Sativa, and this is the Sesh. Hey, hey, you've made it. You're here. I'm here. We're here. This is the Sesh, and I'm Lady Sativa. And so are you. That means I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. But we can always agree that we're always better as we. And in that spirit, we've decided to devote this first episode to Voices of BLM. People asked me if I was going to still ask tough questions, if I was still going to attack political subjects on this show, and why the F not, right? So, I think we should start with one that's on everyone's mind. But it's not something I can speak on right now. Not the way that these people can. So I want you to hear them. These are the voices of BLM.
Black Lives Matter is more than just a string of protests about police brutality. They are a call to action. They are meant to remind people that police brutality has been happening far longer than anyone realizes.
Black Lives Matter to me is a movement that was forced to surface because of the history and the current mistreatment of Black people in America.
I feel like it's been a time, especially this year in 2020, where everybody is kind of separating from each other. After it almost felt like the world was moving towards something as anew, just as we were feeling close to getting closer to each other, we actually had more than something. We had the last few incidents that have happened within the last, I want to say, 4 to 5 months that have hit all of us in very different ways.
I think we need to start having a conversation within our community. I think there needs to be more respect for one another.
It is very easy. At any point, I can just spot the differences between us culturally, even in print and type and advertising, just how white people are prioritized before any of us, as far as products in the store, what they have more of, what they have less of, just little things like that.
Hi, my name is Gemma, and I'm here to tell you my story in hopes of highlighting the need to educate yourself and gather knowledge.
I am feeling such a sensation with a combination of gratefulness and thankfulness. I am grateful because I'm alive to see what's going on, coming full circle, being part of the 60s civil movement, to today being part of the 2020 civil movement.
They're the response to the broken promise of equality and fairness.
It's not a problematic cause, it's a wake-up call to all Americans that us as Black people are not dangerous, and we are not to be feared because of our skin tones. It's not telling anyone that Black lives are more important, but saying that Black people have suffered injustice and mistreatment since the beginning of this country, for whatever reason. The only reason that we see that is because it seems that it only happens with Black people. We're the only people that are getting killed for having Skittles or sodas in our pocket or toys in our pocket.
Black people in this country are coping with and dealing with generational oppression, generational pain, generational anger. Things that have been passed down from parent to child and so on and so on.
I was raised in a cult. We were very isolated and segregated from the world. I was homeschooled. There was no TV, no worldly books, and there was no racism. And for the first 36 years of my life, I was treated as an equal. and I wouldn't recognize racism if it smacked me in the face.
For example, just all the ways that you feel as a person of color in general, you're not supported, you're not acknowledged, your history isn't acknowledged around you, all the architectures and structures and everything around you just isn't akin or made for you.
Nobody needs to be shot in the back, because you're a coward if you do that to somebody. I don't care who you are. I don't believe anybody needs to be stopped because of the color of their skin. I don't think that anybody needs to be followed around in a store.
Being feared to walk down the street or being seen as more aggressive because of your skin tone, or being told you're being problematic because of your skin tone, although your counterparts are doing the same things that you may be doing. They would look at you as you're more feared, more strong, more intimidating because of our skin tone. So it's important that people understand that because we're darker than you doesn't mean that you have to kill us or fear us more or make us feel like we're less than. It's not.
When you see us protesting and yes, sometimes rioting, remember that when we wake up every day, we have to weigh the option of getting in our car and driving to work and risking being pulled over and killed, or just staying home. We have to raise our children and our siblings to know how to behave and act around people who don't look like us to avoid going missing or worse.
Man, it's not just about police brutality, it's about all types of brutality. Brutality doesn't always have to mean that we're being assaulted or hit or killed. It can also be something that, like you guys, for example, someone saying a black person is more aggressive or mean or, doesn't understand the culture that you present to them, when it doesn't have to be understood, because it doesn't. Like, we have our own culture to understand that people tend to plagiarize, take away, steal from, and we just want to make sure that everybody is given a fair chance, especially us. We're not here to cause dissolution. It's not here to make you guys think that we're better or anything like that. It's because black people are the only people who really suffer in this country as far as racism goes.
And so when the protests started and the killing of George Floyd happened, I was shocked and confused because from my perspective, it wasn't that bad. But I didn't know what systemic racism was, so I did some research. America actually keeps track of its racism, and you can look at it all day. But the thing that blew me away the most was that I was an accidental racist. My belief systems, my attitudes, and my behavior were born about by ignorance, and ignorance spreads this disease. It looked like racism, even though I don't have a racist bone in my body.
You don't really get a lot of racism from other races. You really don't hear a lot about different races, Asians or anything like that, being killed off for the color of their skin. You don't hear about Hispanics being killed for the color of their skin. You only hear about black people. And it's always, well, they were feeling like they were aggressive, or they were running too fast, or, things like that, which is an issue. Like, I can't speak my mind in a serious tone or without being felt like I'm making you feel intimidated by me because my voice is louder or because my skin is darker.
I believe that we do need to find some normalcy as Black people, but we cannot have that until we start to respect ourselves and we start to respect each other. We cannot ask for anybody to give us anything if we are not treating each other right. And I might get some flack for this, but I don't care. It is what it is. Like, you treat people like you want to be treated.
You know, it's really more about just trying to be equal and finding a common ground between people to where they can treat African American people and Black people like equals. That's all it is. It's not to separate. It's not to dissolve anything that has been done in history. It's just...
But, no, just like, it's very easy and it can make you angry, but you don't let it. You don't want to get, like, worked up to tears or burn yourself out. You can laugh about it and you can reason with yourself to be justifiably angry but not destroy yourself over it. And so that's how I usually am. But it's out there, though. They always plotting. As I heard before on a very brilliant TV show, they always plotting. So keep your eyes out, you know, but yeah.
Black Lives Matter is about reminding this country that our enslaved ancestors built this country, and that now we continue to push and drive its economy. America was built on our backs and continues to operate on our backs, and we do not get our just dues for it. We are always considered second-class citizens. And we're tired of it.
Just make sure that you're always aware, and racism takes many forms. It's always, even in innocent things, it's not always cross-burning. It's just a matter of who's on the cover of what package and what color is that person. Even if they are a Black person, why is it a light-skinned Black person? Why do they have straight hair? Those little things are always present, and so that's the only way you can learn to disarm racism, is to know the intricacies of it.
Yeah, I think Black Lives Matter is a very powerful movement, and I think it's something that is necessary. It is on point for what we need right here, right now. And I'm glad and I'm proud that people of all colors are taking a stand and saying, no, this is not right. Like, we have to do something.
I'm so grateful to carry on what my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents showed me and taught me while part of the movement themselves, and me growing up as a kid. And now I get to carry on that legacy and pass it on to my next generation, my kids, who grew up with being part of the movement even before they could speak. So I'm just so grateful to see that it's spread across the country, and this time we have more cultures than we had before. We had cultures helping us before and assisting us and banding together with us. And now we have more cultures and more prominent cultures who really believe in what they're fighting for and being part of the team. So I'm grateful.
But I'm just going to speak to my Black people right now. Treat each other better. Period. Respect each other. Agree to disagree. Mind your own business. If you love the Lord, that's fine. Respect that not everybody's gonna feel that way.
Is that how many things are made for them to enjoy and not anyone else? Like, they have no idea what they get to enjoy and what we have to tiptoe around when we enter that space.
It's just to include Black people when it comes to things like the Constitution and being treated fairly in workplaces or in schools, or just walking down the street not feeling like, oh, it's a black person, everyone be afraid. That's what Black Lives is to me, is just having a little bit of empathy for the next person's race and what the next person has been through historically, culturally, and all that, and just being aware. Black Lives Matter is about awareness.
We need to break down these systems of oppression and completely dismantle them, and that is what the protests and the riots are about. We're not burning shit down just 'cause. We're doing it so that we can make room to rebuild. And we deserve the right to rebuild for ourselves.
The internet is out there. Books are out there. None of this should shock and surprise you. It should alarm you, which is akin to shock, yes, but don't act brand new. There's none of that.
I've had several of my white friends ask me what they could do to support the Black Lives Matter movement. And my advice to you is to check yourself. Ask yourself what you believe and why you believe what you believe. Is it based on knowledge and education or based on your personal experiences? Now is the time to make life choices, and we need to do so with education under our belts.
What I'm seeing that's so prominent, and all my musician friends and family will agree with me on this, is music is still more healing than it was even back then. It's the universal language, and I see more and more protests having music, whether they're marching down the main street or they're all doing a sit-in. They have music going on. Music soothes the soul, and we need to continue that. Sounds corny, but it's true.
Remember, knowledge is power in all situations, even this one.
But at the end of the day, we need love. We need to love each other. When we start loving each other, that love will come back at some point, I hope.
I want to thank everyone involved in making the Voices of BLM segment. Asia Tony, Miss Deja, Dominique Richardson, Jordan Smith, Menage Trois, Gemma Burnett, and of course Venus Sexton. Your voices are vital. Thank you for letting us hear your voices. I know when I started producing this project, I knew I was going to learn an amount that frightened me, because we all think we know a lot. But something that I can tell you that I've learned and impart is that your assignment is ready. Your assignment is waiting for you. All you have to do is listen for it and then take it. And when you get your assignment, get to work. There's no time to waste. Black Lives Matter, always. Ladies and gentledems, here is Keezy Allen to tell you why you should donate to BLM 5280.
Hi guys, my name is Keezy Allen. I am an organizer/activist in the Denver metro area with Black Lives Matter 5280. Here are 3 quick reasons why you should donate to our chapter. The first reason is because all funds donated help targeted protesters bail out of jail and with legal defense. The second reason is to help our freedom school remain a thing. And the third and final reason is funds are used to assist people going through the many crises affecting Americans today. You can donate at our Venmo, which is venmo.com/BLM5280, or if you need other avenues to donate through, please contact us on our Facebook page. Thank you.
So every week we are going to tackle a topic. We may tackle a tough topic. We may tackle a funny topic. It will be a socially conscious topic, and we will be socially responsible when discussing this topic, but there will be opinions. Some opinion pieces will meld with you and some will not. We encourage starting the conversation. We encourage the conversation keeping on going, keeping on. So let's start with our first opinion piece. This is Josef Edwards with the Sweet Herbal Tea.
Hi there, my name is Josef Edwards, and welcome to the Sweet Herbal Tea. So, I have a question for you all. Have you completed your census? If not, did you know that we lose $18,000 in federal funding for food and shelter, and not just for homeless people, but for anyone who may need it? This $18,000 that we lose is per singular person who is not counted. So if you're that singular person who has not completed their census yet, I do highly recommend getting that done. So cheers to that. Also, one other thing, since we're in the age of COVID-19, aka coronavirus, I know that the last call has been shifting and changing for everyone who is a party boy or party gal like moi. And I know that before coronavirus, we had a 2 a.m. last call, but when coronavirus happened, we are kind of reminded of when we were teenagers, when we had a curfew at 10 p.m., and now we have a last call, we did have a last call that was a 10 p.m. curfew. And then people complained, bar owners complained because of the stress, and they negotiated with the governor, aka Jared Polis is his name, and I also privately messaged him saying, hey, the bar owners are kind of stressed about this, maybe change it a little bit, and he shifted an hour to 11 p.m., not too bad. And he's currently thinking about 12 p.m. if the statistics get better. And did you know, after coronavirus, he's actually thinking of a 4 a.m. closing last call, 2 hours more partying after this gosh darn coronavirus ends. But for right now, we're in it. So here's my last opinion. Be sure to social distance and wear your masks. That's all.
Thank you, Joseph. Our next piece comes to us from Jesse DeMera. Here is Poppin' Hashtags.
Hey guys, Jesse DeMera here, and today we're going to be popping hashtags and discussing the lack of Black representation in the entertainment industry. My focus is going to be on a study conducted in 2016 by UCLA, which stated that shows developed by people of color were not considered or gained ground at the Emmys or any award shows to gain recognition, which just goes to show we have a lot of ground as the social media generation, as I like to put it, just to have our voices heard. Not that we haven't made any progress, but we still got a way to go. The thing that gets me though is that why does it take a big movement in order to have our voices heard? Just look at Netflix, case an example. With the Black Lives Matter movement, they picked up 7 iconic Black sitcoms to stream. They're slowly releasing them, but why does it take a huge movement for that to happen? The study in 2016 done in UCLA also revealed that since 2016, no shows developed by people of color, specifically the African American community, have gained ground. Yes, they are out there, but they haven't really gained the recognition that they deserve. This study also surprised me with the finding that digital services have offered a wider variety and better representation for people of color, specifically the African American community, which doesn't surprise me, but just goes to show that, hey, broadcast television, get your act together, please.
Thank you, Jesse. That is some very important stuff right there. Representation is everything. We always try to do our best to represent equally on this show. I know that I've never produced an all-white show, and I'm very proud of that, but I think it's just kind of natural. I don't think it's anything that anyone should be proud of me for. We do have some diversity on this show, too. We have some incredibly strange diversity. I'll tell you, some of it's downright ballistic. That's right, your music review is now. It's Ballistic Twatt.
You may not know this, but Tony Braxton has recently just come out with a new album. after, I believe, 2 years. Her last album was Sex and Cigarettes, which was actually nominated for some Grammys, which is pretty cool. Who knows, this one might be too. It was actually pretty good. A lot of it's about heartbreak and breakups. It's a great album if you're just like sad and lonely, breaking up with everybody. Her first song on the album is called Dance. You would think a song called Dance would be like... No, I mean, Dance is an uplifting song, but it is about like dancing to get over somebody, which I think is good advice. Everybody needs to bust a move out once in a while, like after they cry a lot. Missy Elliott is also featured on one of the tracks called Do It. You definitely get a lot of her rap stylings, and she is just amazing in this song, I believe. I'd have to say my favorite song on the album is Saturday Night. The song is basically about her being in love with somebody who's completely wrong for her, which I believe we've all been through at some point in time. So it's very relatable. It's a ballad. It's definitely one of those tracks that you can remix and like have fun with at the club. I think that one is actually more danceable than her song Dance. Her is featured on one of the tracks, and if you're a fan of Unbreak My Heart, a song like Spanish Guitar, I think this is going to be an album you really enjoy. It has a lot of like old school Tony Braxton sound, and it's just one of those, like, when I heard it, it just kind of brought me back to that point where I was just like always singing that song in the shower. Join me next week to see Ballistic Twatt in her full glory, reviewing Ava Max's new album, Heaven and Hell.
Thank you, Ballistic Twatt. And that is our show for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it every week. Please like, share, and subscribe to Facebook and YouTube pages. Let your friends know about the Sesh. We have more opinion pieces coming from Dominique Richardson, Paula Resler. We have Ryan giving some advice with his pops sitting all around him. And maybe some fitness advice from him too, because we all know he's swole. We have topics like sexuality versus identity. What does defund the police mean? What does a cashless society look like? Will mental health ever be a social priority? We have a lot of great topics coming up, so I really, really do want you to like, subscribe, and share. And please join us next week. We can't wait to see you. It is such great fun bringing voices together to unify and speak the truth. We can't wait to see you again. Nugs and kisses.